Hello, my zebras and spoonies. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me today. I am glad that you are here. Today, I'm going to be talking about my experiences with osteoarthritis as an installment in the My Diagnosis series. So, let's start by talking about what osteoarthritis is. Osteoarthritis is the most common form of arthritis. It affects millions of people worldwide. It occurs when the protective cartilage that cushions the ends of the bones wears down over time. Eventually, the cartilage wears down completely and the bone will rub directly on bone. Osteoarthritis has often been referred to as a wear and tear disease, but besides the breakdown of this cartilage, osteoarthritis affects really the entire joint. It causes changes in the bone. Um, it can cause spurs to form around the joint, and it can cause deterioration of the connective tissues that hold the joint together and that attach muscle to the bone. It also causes inflammation of the joint lining. So, for those of us who have hypermobile EDS, we are at a higher risk for osteoarthritis because our joints are moving around way more than they are supposed to and in ways that they are not supposed to be moving. Every time a joint subluxes or dislocates, it's moving in a way that it wasn't designed for. And it is increasing the risk for osteoarthritis. And this is why it is so important for us to be taking good care of our joints and making sure that they stay in proper alignment even if it isn't causing us any pain at the time. Because osteoarthritis is a disease caused by cumulative damage to the joint that happens over a long period of time. For me, my feet are where the osteoarthritis is the worst. The cartilage between my tarsals, metatarsals, and phalanges is completely gone. The tarsals are the little bones that make up the ankles, and the metatarsals are the bones that make up the midfoot, and the phalanges are the bones that make up your toes. And for me, all of those bones are now rubbing up against each other because there is no cartilage to cushion between those joints. This is causing those little bones to break up and to degrade. I have numerous bone spurs in my feet because of all of this damage. Additionally, the ligaments in my feet are also degrading and they're losing their ability to hold the bones in their proper place. If you look at a diagram of the foot and the anatomy of the foot, and you can see that there are a bunch of ligaments that hold the foot together. Um, each of those little bones have ligaments that bridge between them and that will hold them together, plus longer ligaments that cross and span and supports that bone. So basically, our feet are wrapped up in ligaments to hold all those bones tightly together. The majority of the foot stability is really achieved with these ligaments that hold all these little bones tightly together. And as my ligaments degrade, the bones in my feet become more mobile and they grate on each other even more, which leads to further damage to the bone. And what this all sums up to is that my feet are disintegrating. In time, these structures will have fallen apart enough that they can no longer bear my weight. My prognosis is that, well, I will most likely be wheelchair bound in about 5 years. There are no surgeries to correct the damage that is happening to my feet. The bones and ligaments are all made from the connective tissue that my body is not able to properly create or maintain. Um, this is the price that I am paying for having a career that has me on my feet for 12 or more hours a day. It is the reason that I will soon no longer be able to tolerate working as a bedside nurse, and because of all the emotional price that nurse costs. Of all the diagnoses that I have received over the years, it was this one that was the most difficult for me to receive. There have been a lot of grieving to process. Um, there's just a lot of emotional stuff wrapped up in knowing that I'm losing my ability to walk. No, losing my ability to walk is not the worst thing that could ever happen to me. And no, being wheelchair bound does not mean that my life will end. But it does mean that I need to reconsider everything that I thought that I was going to be doing with my life, and that I need to redefine my work, career plans, all of that. I planned on being a bedside nurse until I was ready to retire, and that really isn't a good option for me anymore. There are nurses out there that are working as bedside nurses while they are wheelchair bound. They are amazing people who are willing to fight for disability rights in a way that I no longer have the spoons for. I do not have it in me to fight to stay at the bedside. I have spent my entire career fighting to keep my place in the workforce despite having chronic illnesses. I think it is absolute insanity that they are not looking to keep every nurse that they have. But the ableism is real, and it's strong in our culture, and I'm tired. Deep down in my soul, I am tired. It has never mattered that I am very good at my job. I have always had to fight to keep that job because I have chronic illnesses. No one wants to give a nurse a day off for anything, but least of all for a sick day or doctor's appointment. Getting accommodation as a nurse is near impossible, and the irony of that has always been painful. As a nurse, it has always been my job to help people figure out how to maintain their functioning despite their illnesses. Yet, as a nurse, I have never been granted work accommodations easily. So, because of the current culture in our country's work settings, and because of my feet slowly turning into dust, I am now standing at a crossroads in my life that has been very difficult for me. I am currently working as a travel nurse with the plan to pay off my college debt in hopes that we can move into the next stage of things without that debt. I'm not sure what that next stage will be. There have been many different options that I've considered, but I haven't really settled on anything in particular. I have been mostly focused on trying to get through this current phase of things. While I'm struggling with my grief over leaving the bedside nursing, I have also had to come face to face with my own internalized ableism. It's been a real challenge for me to accept that I will not be able to walk here soon. All of these complex feelings come down to having been taught that I will somehow have less value because I can no longer walk. It is a terrible thing to realize that you have been taught that a human only holds value if they are able bodied. My rational brain knows that this internal ableism is a lie, but that doesn't keep that narrative from playing in my mind. And it's pretty awful. Well, that's about it for my rambling today. So thanks for coming and spending time with me. If you like the video, please click on that like button. It really does help. And until we talk again, you guys, please take care of yourselves. Bye.